Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Day 3 of the LCS Challengers League Summer Promotion Tournament. We are in the bottom half of the bracket now. We will be saying goodbye to 2 of our 6 teams, while the rest of them will be continuing their journey for a spot in the LCS Challengers League for Spring 2024. Welcome, everybody. My name is Grapes. It is a pleasure to be joining you all from the qualifier broadcast once again, and to help guide me here with Mazel and Beatdown. Once again, the LCS Challengers League promotion tournament brought to you by Turo. Big shout out to Subway as well. Mazel, Beatdown, how are we doing today?
I'm excited. I want to cast. I'm excited. It's been like a week of off season and I'm already ready to get back to it. So here we go. And we got some eliminations, so it's going to be fun.
I don't know how to tell you this, Lennon, but your sense of time might be a little off because it's actually been a couple weeks, especially for us. Remember, our finals was on the 9th. It is the 31st.
I went to Newark. All right, I saw you guys.
That's true. We did see each other. That's off season for us because we were technically, we were done until this tournament.
Feels like work. I don't know.
We got some time to relax at the LCS finals, but we're back here in this beautiful, tri-camera setup that we have here, ready to get into some more promotion tournament. But if you are joining us here for the first time, it's maybe a good idea to catch up on what the format is for this event, and to help us, we have Sierra with this video.
Welcome to the LCS Challengers League Summer Promotion Tournament. I'm Sierra Dawn, and I'll be leading you through the stakes, the format, and some of the changes we made coming into summer. In spring, we saw 8 teams contest 4 promotions into the NACL. For summer, we have a total of 6 teams, all vying for 2 spots. The 2 lowest placing NACL teams from the summer regular season, and the 4 best teams from the NACL Open qualifiers. These 6 teams are placed into a double elimination bracket, with the qualifier teams playing a best of 3 against each other to start. Qualifier teams were ranked by total points earned across both open qualifiers. There will be 4 rounds of gameplay, with the first 2 rounds being best of 3s, after which the remaining rounds will be best of 5. The teams coming from NACL will have a chance to only need 2 wins to make it back, while the teams coming from qualifiers need to win 3 matches to make the jump to LCS Challenger Spring 2024. Those eliminated have the opportunity to challenge for their spot in NACL by taking part in the next split's open qualifiers.
Thank you very much, Sierra. And a reminder, we are on day 3 of our tournament, and as we take a look at the bracket, things have gone a little bit off the rails here, Beatdown. Take a look at the results that we have. A lot of finishes that maybe we weren't expecting.
You don't have to say maybe. Like, we can all talk about Mirage Lit. Like, it was an upset. It was the 6th seed versus the 3rd seed. A lot of us were certain Mirage were going to be the one guaranteed to promote, but the immediate knockdown to the lower bracket from Lit in a resounding 2-0 victory is definitely the biggest surprise for me. In fact, they have actually basically earned their way to getting to that 3rd series. They're on their promotion series, which will be taking place tomorrow, our first best of 5.
That's what I was going to talk about, man. It is crazy. They are lit, man. It is insane. The fact that they were able to take down Taco 2-0, it was actually an incredible performance from them. The bot lane popping off. But also got to talk about Supernova a little bit. Handling business against Winthrop there in that upper bracket.
I should
go on to face this underdog miracle runner here in Lit.
Yeah, a lot of people maybe had their doubts about Supernova and Taco based off of the weak performances that they had to round out the NACL regular season. But you have to remember, they were in Challengers League for a reason. They still, have some good gamers on their team, taking down Winthrop in that 3-game set. We'll see them tomorrow. But we also have our elimination matches down here, saying goodbye to 2 of our teams, and our last set of best of 3s happening today. Starting off with Team Ambition versus Team Fish Taco, followed by Mirage Alliance versus Winthrop. 3 of our 4 qualifier teams, as well as Taco from the NACL, Mazel. It's kind of sad that we're going to be saying bye to 2 of them today.
Hey, when we come into the promotion tournament, there's always going to be some sadness. Some teams are going to walk away disappointed, and today will be that day for 2 out of our teams in this tournament. I think you always have to talk and look at the history, the kind of run into this moment for all these teams, but we will have to say adieu to one of them today, or at least for each matchup.
definitely always a little bit sad to see them go, but let's get into the matches that we will be seeing today. Starting off with our first one, of course, our first best of 3 between Team Ambition and Team Fish Taco. We'll start off with my boys from the qualifiers in TA, Porsche, Limo, Kachu, Levitate, and Snow, winners of the first qualifier of summer, but have been a little bit inconsistent as of late. They lost that first series that they had to Winthrop and Beatdown. We need to see a little bit more consistency this time around.
Yeah, that first series was definitely not a good look from this Team Ambition roster. And to be fair, they did win that first qualifier, but things have changed a little bit since then. I think this team definitely has a lot of potential. Kachu is a player I've been very excited about ever since he joined them back in spring. And he's someone who I think very good mechanically, definitely has a lot of potential, and we're hoping to see that come out a little bit more throughout this tournament, throughout his time in Ambition, and just throughout hoping that Team Ambition can also kind of get the team play back together, because we haven't been seeing it so far.
That was the biggest thing for me, is kind of that team synergy, kind of the cohesion, be on the same timings, the same play. For me, it has to come down to Limo and Kachu having a really good connection today, because I feel like as a whole, we didn't see that from the team the last time we saw an outing from them.
Yeah, I mean, when they last played against Winthrop, it was during the finals of that first qualifier, and they ended up winning that series in 3-2 fashion. So coming into that on the first day of the promotion tournament, I personally thought it was going to be a very close series between those two. However, some, did not look like they were always on the same page, and that was something that we saw from them at times in qualifier number 2. But we know the players on this roster are super hungry, super motivated to make their way into Challengers, into the LCS, and eventually, and I think they're hopefully ready to bring everything back together for this lower bracket run. They know they have a bunch more series here to go, Mazel.
I will say, it's just been about kind of this year, right? More extensively this summer, big focus for Team Ambition, but it's been about rebuilding and around Kachu Beatdown.
Right, and he's a player too that, again, like I've seen good things from him in spring back when they had Champions Queue. I thought he was a player who had really good hands. I mean, we even can take a look at the kind of arc this team has gone through overall throughout the year. I mean, we see over here in the spring split, Kachu, once Town moved up to CLG Faith, Kachu was the one who jumped in. And that's pretty much when I personally had my eyes on this roster. And then, of course, we saw the addition of Levitate and Snow 2 coming in summer. 2 players who honestly performed beyond some of our expectations during the promotion tournament. And then they went on to win that first place in the first qualifier like we were talking about beforehand.
Yeah, you take a look right now. This is kind of the roster history of Team Ambition, and even if dating back to 2022, an organization that's been around Tier 3 and finally has reached the top, ready for that promotion potentially into Tier 2. And the one thing that I found really interesting looking through this graphic here, Mazel, is that it was Kachu, their mid laner, that was the only player that stayed from spring to summer. Even though you look at some of the players on that spring roster like Cozy and Pluto, who have been around for a while, it was their mid laner, their young mid laner, that they decided to keep, and it's worked well for them so far.
I think that's the biggest thing, is when you see a team that's confident enough to build around a specific piece, right? You know this guy has what it takes to make it, right? And I think we've seen in moments in the qualifiers that he is able to rise head and above. I think the thing is, you have to be able to show up on the day, right? You are one series away from being eliminated. Now is the time to show up.
Yeah, and even though Team Ambition in their matchup against Winthrop didn't look super good, we did see some good moments from Kachu, who had an admirable series in those 2 games that they played. Beatdown, even though the rest of the team didn't always look super matched up, we did see Kachu come up pretty big a couple of times. Yeah,
in that game 1, Yasuo was definitely something to keep an eye on. Maybe don't look at what he was building, but the actual gameplay. I was a fan. Hey, look, man, Hullbreaker's not it. I'm sorry, and I'm actually not sorry. But the point is, this is another thing I was excited about for him, because we look at Kachu as a player. He is a melee specialist. You want to talk like Akali, Silas, Yasuo. A lot of these champions have gotten buffed on the patch that we're playing on, 13-16. So I did really have that expectation that this roster would be able to, once they kind of figure out the team play aspect, learn how to play more for Kachu and set him up for success, that they could find a lot of wins. And even though they haven't been able to do that so far, they still have one more chance as they face elimination today.
I think playing towards some of those strengths, some of those comfort picks, but also just playing around the meta a little bit more. You see when the combos are there, man, when you have the composition firing away, it looks really good. And that's where that holistic conversation of just needing to see them on the same page comes to bear.
It seemed like that was something, Team Ambition were doing a lot of in the start of the summer split, being super decisive, going in with Limo and Snow, Kachu on these melees, able to follow up in huge ways. But there were multiple times in that series against Winthrop where it didn't seem like that trigger was being pulled immediately. And that is where Winthrop really came and took them to town. A 2-0 sweep, and it wasn't really that close of a 2-0. Sometimes you have those 2-0s where it's like, oh, it was a really close series, even though, it was technically a one-sided on the scorecard. No, Winthrop really got the better hand of TEA, and we're going to have to see a lot more of them if they want to come away with playing at least one best of 5 here in the promotion tournament.
I think it makes it even funnier that Winthrop are one of the teams we're seeing later on into the day, despite that resounding and very confidence-inspiring victory over Team Ambition, which kind of really just goes to show how competitive this promotion tournament has been. Everybody's fighting for those 2 spots to make it into NACL Spring 2024. And again, we have 4 teams on the day fighting for another chance. Of course, we were saying before, Lit, Supernova fighting for the first promotion spot tomorrow. And we only have a couple more days left of this tournament. So some of these teams who are struggling to get it together, whether it's team play, whether it's draft, things like that, they're not working with a lot of time, guys.
Definitely not. Just one series is all it's going to take. And then, for this team, whoever loses this series, to wait, 3 months and really have no idea what the rest of your...
a little bit longer than,
a little bit. The offseason's going to be a long time. Winter is coming.
Yeah.
I believe we might be ready to show who Team Ambition will be facing off against soon in Team Fish Taco, because they were our NACL representatives and they will be running with, of course, their same roster that we've seen from them. But, I mean, Mazel, taking a look at this, Team Fish Taco roster, looks a little bit unusual here. I don't know if this is the exact correct team.
So we have an update. If we look, apparently we do have a substitution for Taco. Spawn in the ADC position will now be playing top lane, and Red will be coming in as their substitution.
Yeah, so something's going so Lunacia isn't able to play at the moment, so it is going to be Spawn role swapping, and they have Red, who we've also actually saw both in qualifiers year-round and in that last promotion tournament, subbing in for Spawn in that AD carry position here. And I mean, it is a tragedy to have that happen in such an important elimination match coming through today, but I mean, game's got to go on, right?
That is, this is an elimination match, guys. That is a time to do it, and unfortunately, well, we'll see if Spawn. Wait, I'm not anywhere near as good as these guys, but the transition from ADC to top lane, it's gonna be interesting.
I was a little bit, taken aback when I saw this, because I saw Red, and I remember he played on Team Fish Taco in spring, and so I thought, oh, is this like the
legendary secret
roster?
comeback of Doom?
But it looks like this is.
I love that we have the Red photo out of all of them. Out of all of our Team Fish Taco fellas, we've got the Red photo.
Yeah, and when we did see Red in the spring split in the qualifiers, he looked pretty good for the most part. I know he doesn't play a ton of league super casually. He's doing a lot of stuff. I believe he's at Harvard studying as well. So really props to him for showing up and helping his former organization out. But we'll see how that goes, especially because Mazel, one of the players on Team Fish Taco that we're really excited to watch today in Spawn, might be off role for the start of this series.
Yeah, I'm going to be really interested. We were coming to this one. We were super excited what this bot lane matchup is going to be. I'm still excited to see what this bot lane matchup can be. But I want to talk about Spawn a little bit. I think this guy has seen such high highs, and he's been able to explore this valley that we call the LCS/LCS Challengers League. He had been on the Dignitas LCS Academy team. He had been there. He had gone up to the Dignitas LCS team, came back to the Dignitas Challengers League team, and now, after having spent the splits with Team Fish Taco in the Challengers League, they want to go back, and they got to lean on this guy's experience. And yes, maybe in the top lane now, but we'll see if he can bring some of that grit that we know him for, and some of that aggressive nature that we've really liked from him over this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think Spawn's a player who we definitely have had praise for, and the improvement we've seen from him. Even though he is role swapping today, he's definitely still a player who I think I just want to go ahead and say, overall, even if things don't go well for Taco, he improved a good bit here in the summer split, and he's someone who I want to keep seeing going forward. And I'm hoping that even if Taco don't prevail today, he's someone that everybody keeps on their radar going forward.
Yeah, and I think you worded it perfectly, Mizel, how Spawn has seen really high highs and really low lows from his time in the Tier 2 and Tier 1 space as well with the LCS. He garnered a lot of criticism, but coming back down to Dignitas Challengers, he looked very, very solid as that AD carry for the team. And even here on Team Fish Taco, even though they're here in the promotion tournament, has still had really good performances throughout the summer split.
Yeah, he really has. And I think barring, we'll talk a little bit about the recent performance that maybe needs a little bit of looking into. He's not going to be down there the bot lane this time, so, no harm, no foul. But it is really just about, yes.
I got you. You wanted to talk about this matchup?
Okay.
Obviously, Spawn is just going to play Cassante, and he can get that 80 carry 1v1. It's just that simple.
He knows the bane. He knows the bane of any ADC's existence.
Exactly. He's experienced it.
You don't get to play the game.
Yeah. He can finally be on the other side of the coin. This is what it's like taking all his revenge on the Levitate.
Yeah, he can actually just take out all that frustration, all those 80 carry moments where it's like, oh, my bad. I was in the fight. I shouldn't have been there.
Well, something that might help Spawn in the top lane that we've seen as a big character growth from him in the summer split is some of the aggressive plays that he's had down in the bottom lane. Lennon, taking a look at this is the earlier season of the NACL.
Yeah.
I mean, this is some stuff that we didn't see earlier in the year from Spawn.
That was the biggest transition for us this year for Spawn, was the fact that we saw flashes forward. We saw aggressive moments in the 2v2s in lane, but not only that, in team fights, right? One of the biggest things for Spawn always was that he was a good team fighter. Not necessarily the most flashy laner, but he will solidly carry team fights. But the fact we're seeing him change up in an aggressive manner in every state of the game has felt really good for his growth as a player.
Yeah, I mean, those flash forwards on Aphelios, absolutely carrying some of those team fights. Yeah, maybe he won't be playing the Aphelios today, but I think some of that nature being carried over into the promotion tournament in the lower bracket.
Killer instinct.
Yeah.
Gotta have it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
even when he's not playing Kai'Sa.
That's part of the process of being a really strong professional player. But of course, while we are hyping up both of these teams a lot while we head into this best of 3 matchup, it is important to note that they did both suffer losses in the opening round. It was Team Ambition losing 2-0 to Winthrop, as we mentioned, alongside Taco dropping to Lit. But we can start off here with Team Ambition's loss to Winthrop, which we touched upon a little bit, Beatdown, but getting into the nitty-gritty a little bit more as we have some clips to show. It just did not seem like the same Team Ambition that we saw at the start of this split.
No, and it's interesting too. I really want to give credit to Winthrop because I think this was a well-played series from them. In particular, Sword. I know he dies in this clip. Sword and Mobility, actually, both in particular. I think they both had really good moments. In fact, I credit Sword for a lot of the team fight angles that Winthrop were able to go for, and it just felt like Team Ambition didn't really have an answer. They were constantly getting engaged on. They were constantly basically playing to Winthrop's tune, and you pair that with Mobility having the best series I've ever seen from him. There's just no way you can win, and this is why we talk about team play being such a big factor for Team Ambition and why it's something we want to see them return to today, lest we say goodbye to them from this tournament.
I think for me, the biggest takeaway, again, goes back to that conversation of togetherness. And you see a little bit of that here. Some of the missed execution, for sure. Maybe need to be cleaned up. But it is just about wanting to see this team working on the same page.
Yeah, and on the other side, for Team Fish Taco, they dropped their opening round series to Lit Esports, who, of course, had that momentum after beating Mirage Alliance in the first round. But still, Mizel, this is our NACL representative. We would expect them to really put up a strong performance. And yes, Lit played really well, but there are things on Taco's end that we are looking to see if they can improve on moving forward.
While we won't get a lot of focus in the clips that we're going to be playing about the bot lane, I feel like it had a holistic focus on the bot lane. I feel like the 2v2 just went so badly for Taco, and we got to see that kind of run rampant throughout the rest of the games. And as we play those clips here, I want to specifically focus on the fact that Taco were just getting kind of diffed in a lot of the mechanical team fights, and a lot of these situations were just them being out-positioned, the end of the game coming through here quickly by Lit, but it again was just a springboard off of Kisno being everywhere all at once, it felt like, but Rock Boom having an incredible series, Messages having an incredible series, And the fact that Taco were on the back foot, we heard them talk so much before about how confident they are. They shouldn't even be here, yet they find themselves in an elimination matchup.
That confidence is going to be so important if they are going to overcome basically the odds that are against them at the moment here, because it doesn't look like we've been seeing the best we've seen from Taco compared to what we saw towards the end. Because even though the last week of play wasn't favorable for them in NACL Summer, I think this was a team that did slowly improve throughout Summer Split. The problem is just that everyone else was also on that improvement trajectory, so it doesn't really help your record when you can't actually surpass anybody. You're just sort of keeping up. So now hopefully we get to at least see what they've been able to work on and improve on in this series here today.
Yeah, we'll see if either of them can take that next step and hopefully ride that momentum into a lower bracket run for the ages. But before we get into draft, there has been a few delays before getting this first game started. So before we start, we got a special episode of NACL Bot featuring some of our promotion players.
Welcome one and all to our summer promotion tournament episode of Bot. The name of the game: there is a ball, the training dummy, and a net, the pixel brush. Call your shot with the champion of your choice and force the other two to make the same shot. If you miss, you get a letter. And if you get 3, then you are a certified bot. Welcome our challengers today. We've got Supernova's Quacker here. We've got Mirage Alliance's Chad. And we have Winthrop's University's Mobility.
And yeah, here's my shot. Yeah.
Oh!
There it is, right to the bush.
E flash W.
Look.
Okay.
Is he E? Wait.
Oh, you had it! Oh!
I lived it. Did I do it?
Okay. Oh, I have to go now. Oh, I f***ed it up.
Oh, no! Oh, you gotta...
My brain turned off. And I realized when I pressed Q, I realized, oh my god, wait, the game started. I have to go.
Yep.
Oh!
Pay it. Hey!
The old bounced it into the bush. R E Q E.
That's in!
There you go.
Oh,
That's a
No way.
That's a B, baby!
There you go. So yeah, Q.
Wow.
Q. Flash behind ER.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no!
Oh my god! Yeah.
Oh, that's in.
Alright, here's my shot.
Nice.
There we go.
That's in. That's
Hey.
in. Easy. Oh.
Low shoulder.
Here's my shot.
Nope. Has
Yes.
to be midair.
Yeah, dude.
Does it have to be there? Okay.
That is AT, my friend.
Oh.
Oh, no.
It's fine.
I don't remember what he did. I don't remember what he did.
Alright, try again. Okay, you're gonna
One more shot.
you're gonna
Close. Kinda
That is bot behavior. Now, Chad, you are our king of this episode of Bots. You only gotta be. Do you have any wise words? Do you have any thoughts?
Bro, it doesn't matter if we're playing mini games or we're playing matches, bro. I'm the winner. I will win. I got Rufus in my corner. This guy's sleeping in the chair behind me. It's not even close. No, I'm not even. I'm the second best least on my team, bro. Think about it. Second best on my team. You guys still couldn't do it. It's a dub, man. It's just a dub.
Where
do
the cat is so
wave.
cute. Oh my god.
Dude, yeah.
Man, Chad was just way better than I mean, I don't know. He's just
Chad
better
kinda
like
wrecked
that.
him. Chad kind of wrecked
Dude,
him.
and he was
not gonna
rightfully
lie.
feeling himself at the end, too.
It's always one of my favorite segments. Shout out to you, Mizell. We are
Yeah,
just
honestly.
about ready, though, to get started with this series. However, due to the emergency substitution and delay in game start, Team Fish Taco will be losing one ban, their 5th ban here in this first game. You know, kind of happens sometimes, unfortunately. We'll see if they can turn it around, regain that composure, and put up a good fight against Team Ambition, our representative from NACLQ. But I believe Draft is getting it ready shortly. We can send it on over, I believe, to you guys. Mizell and Beatdown, take it away.
Mizell, catch it.
All right,
Catch it.
we're going to be getting it. I got it. Oh,
Let's
that was
go.
perfect timing. That was
How
great.
do you do that, man?
Dude, Monkey Bubble and Cinzia are OP.
Yeah, they know.
Anyways, we are into our draft here.
Yes,
and
sir.
Team Ambition on the blue side. We have Taco on the red side. Again, a lot of changes that we'll have to get into for Taco, especially in the way they're going to approach the game. Got to expect some of those niche comfort picks. Hopefully, maybe the big meta picks coming through Respawn in the top lane. But right now, we do see the Kindred
Raven
ban
top.
towards Rosethorn. Let's not. We also have the Maokai ban over towards Lebo. The Belveth, actually. So a lot of the kind of niche picks for Rosethorn being taken off the table.
Yeah, and I mean, it's something I like that takeaway. I mean, the Kindred is always a must ban against Rosethorn, but the thing I like about the Belveth as well, Rosethorn had a game on it in NACL Summer. It was actually a really good look, and I think in this situation, when you have a sub 80 carry, your regular AD is going to top side, you're going to need some crazy cheese strats. So Team Ambition are just like, no, you don't get to do any of that.
I love this, though. Taco are saying, you know what?
Fine.
We bet you can't get any of the jungle metas either. We're going to take all those away. We're going to get some of these pocket picks for Rosethorn somewhere. We actually get the Tristana ban as the final ban for TA. Then the Olaf ban towards Porsche, as rightfully should be. We'll see what the first pick for TA is going to be this time around. Do expect a little bit of that priority, maybe going over towards Kachu, but a little bit in this
Rel,
first
yeah.
phase. That Rel will be the lock-in.
Yeah, that was my immediate thought as well. I think Rel is just so strong at the moment, even though we have kind of fallen away from Kaisa priority since this patch change came through. This is just a really powerful flex. It's the greatest engaged champion in the game. No ifs, ands, or buts. So now,
Is that it? Is
yeah,
that your statement?
that is my
You're
statement.
gonna live and die.
Yeah, and
Right.
I think that's why I like the Xayah from Red. I mean, we saw it when we last saw him in the promotion tournament for summer this year. And the fact that they get the Xayah Rakan together, really important.
Yeah.
It offers you that safety that Xayah has, which, I mean, already seeing Rel on the other team, that's very much desired as an AD carry. And you also have a very strong 2v2 bot lane that hopefully Taco can leverage in the early game.
It's also something for NXI, one of his more premier picks in his limited champ pool, but also something that enables him to connect with Rosethorn. I think that with these subs is going to be the undercurrent, the heartbeat of Taco in this series in an elimination match. We do get the poke style composition starting to come through, at least. Got that big engage with Rel, but now you got all those shock blasts there with the Jace lock in and maybe a Kaisa to boot, but expect a lot more of this range coming through.
Yeah, so you already have a good amount of poke just with those lock-ins and the all-in. At this point, my immediate thought is that Taco needs to look to ban the Ivern out because that's just a really strong combination if that one ends up coming through for their side. And as for this last pick, I mean, Rosethorn, you have a couple of options there. Well, you have some options left for the jungle. It's tough because a lot of them have been taken away, and they don't actually want to go for anything. So, I mean, Ornn is not something we've seen a whole lot of before. We have seen Lunacia play it, and I think it's fine given the situation that Spawn is not usually a top laner. You give him something that can scale.
Scaling.
Exactly. He's still going to be able to offer so much value and use in that late game, and as long as you get rid of something like the Ivern that I was highlighting before, you have great response to engage. That's what I really like about that Call of the Forge God.
I mean, right now as a whole for Taco, you have so much peel, but also just a lot of longer range engage there. We do get the Gwen ban by Taco, so maybe focusing up that Porsche matchup a little bit more for Spawn as well.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to, again, remove some of those really hard-winning matchups. I'm sure Porsche is looking to kind of take advantage of the fact that you do what you got to do to get the win here. And even though I wonder if he'll see a double ban, because again, I'm still really leaning towards that Ivern. It's tough because Porsche, we've seen a lot of different champions from him. Camille, that
They don't have
Denethor
a
has
final
brought. Oh, that's right. the 5th ban because of the E-sub and everything like that.
But they went for the Gwen instead of the Ivern.
Yeah, so I guess that was just a really big priority, just to give Spawn that comfortable matchup, kind of limit the trouble he's going to be in the laning phase.
Now we'll see. The Nico was the ban from Team Ambition. It will be followed by the Lilia. So really get to those champs that we know Rose Thorn has deep in the pockets.
Wow.
Now Taco, though, will have their final pick ready to go as a counter. They'll need to get this 4th one in. I wonder if they just want to save for that jungle matchup.
Ooh.
Rose Thorn, again, and NXI will be the key matchups here for Taco to find success in. And that means maybe leaning a little bit more towards Rose Thorn priority here. And they will do that with the Annie lock in at 4.
Yeah, so this was a response that Winthrop went for in Sword's hands as well, as in response to the Jace for Kachu. And it was something that Kachu struggled against a lot just because the gank setup is insane. Just it adds to this plethora of CC Team Fish Taco are playing with in this composition. So they have this very clear front to back going on for themselves. And at this point, it's just getting a jungler that can facilitate. You actually have enough space, in my opinion, to go for something more carry-oriented as well. But Porsche, I love the GP. You're playing into a tank. You get a free lane to scale, and it really just plays into the range advantage and your ability to kite that Team Ambition are going for here. And
God,
now,
imagine that.
Oh.
Imagine the poke coming down and a cannon barrage on top of it.
Yeah.
But also, Porsche trying to flex a little bit in that top lane. He wants to try to have an influence against Spawn, against the substitution swap up there. And we do get the Poppy also locked in here for Limo.
yeah, I like it. So what I'm seeing now, too, is that Team Ambition overall, they have this comp where you have a lot of range, you have a good amount of poke, and you have champions that are fine kiting things out. So my interest is how are Taco going to go for this all in, because they need to be able to make space. And the Nocturne is the perfect way for them to be able to do it. You're not paired with the Nico, which is what's such a strong combination, but I'm looking at Nocturne or an Annie, Rakan. This is how you beat those longer range compositions. You get right into their face, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on Limo in this early mid game to be able to mitigate some of that alongside Snow too, because they're the only players with CC on their team.
That's the biggest thing is, like, yes, you have a lot of reward, but there is also risk with this competition. And I am not always the biggest fan of a Nocturne. Yes, it looks really good when it is ahead, but at some points you become just a light switching bot at points in the game if you haven't found a lead. So I'm really looking at Rose Thorn, all eyes on him and the connection with NXI and how they're going to get this Nocturne off the ground.
Yeah, and remember, this is for elimination. Despite Taco's circumstances, they are still fighting for their tournament lives and a chance to make it back to NACL in summer. Same with Team Ambition.
As we get into game number 1, it's been a long time coming here, but we got the elimination best of 3 between Team Ambition and Team Fish Taco. We got to hear a little bit from Onat on how the team morale is doing and showing up when it matters.
Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like it has been pretty low, and we're not that like right after the split ended, we didn't even want to scrim for like a week, and we were kind of bummed out. And sometimes the energy is low and you can't really control it, but I know that on game day we always show up.
And now is the time to show up when you need it most. You've had some swaps, you've had some adversity thrown your way here at the start of the morning. And that being said, Taco will need to show up in this best of 3. Make sure you're spamming in chat, though. TA for Team Ambition, if you want them to win, or Taco for Team Fish Taco there. Got a lot of TA fans in the chat, Beatdown.
Yeah, but we'll give it time to populate. I know back during summer, Team Fish Taco had some as well, but I mean, Team Ambition oriented, and people are trying to literally, what's the word? People are just trying to maximize their the tokens that they earn as well. I'm sure people are betting in the chat, things like that. But the Pipsod is interesting too, because it's kind of what I was talking about in the pre-show, Lennon, how the Team Fish Taco we saw in their previous series, not the Team Fish Taco we saw towards the end of the split. So the hope is that they're able to at least somewhat go back to that, to keep themselves in this promotion tournament. And even though they have this unfortunate role swap emergency sub situation coming through, they have probably the best comp you can hope for to be able to get themselves a win here in game 1. And you have a comp, though, even with Ornn, I think gets outscaled. So it's really going to be on Rose Thorn and Onat in particular. They have the CC. They're this high-impact mid-jungle duo we're seeing here. Once we get to level 6, all eyes are going to be on them to see how they're going to be able to facilitate things for the rest of the
And there's a much different approach to a lot of this game, right? A TA will be completely fine entering into an objective later on, right? All that poke really going to lean on to them. They can start up. They have a lot of spacing available to them, but they are fine to let Taco be the ones in the forward foot to respond to them. While Taco, they are going to have to be decisive. If we do not see decisiveness from them and togetherness, this composition is going to crumble apart. So we'll see where that early focus is going. We obviously see both junglers hovering down towards this bot side with their pathing. We'll see how quickly they get into the lanes, and especially if Limo on a Poppy, who can be a big skirmishing early jungle, can maybe upend Rosethorn.
Yeah, so Limo on this Poppy is that kind of early game bridge for this team, because like you said, Lennon, he's going to have a lot of ability to have impact early on. If you generate these leads, you make enough plays so that the game is even for you going in that 15 to 20 minute mark. You really do like your chances, especially if Team Fish Taco aren't threatening something like a Dragon Soul or are not strong enough to get to a point where they can threaten a Baron, because it means that, like you pointed out, they're able to get to these objectives first. Gangplank, really good when you can set up that barrel control. I mean, Jace, very happy to poke from several screens away. Same with the Kaisa. So that's really what Team Ambition needs to get going.
We see even if Spawn isn't down bot side, we're seeing still full focus from both teams. We'll get the one-on-one, Rosethorn versus Limo here. The fear should go off as well. We get the slowdown, but the 2v2 is also going to kick off in its own right. Limo will flash. Rosethorn trying to commit for it, but Snow now in a little bit of trouble. Will end up backing away from the side of Taco. Snow goes right back in because Kachu is here. He slams down with a hammerfall, gets the flash into the bush, but the Blade Caller is too big. First blood comes through for Taco. That's 2 kills for Rosethorn. Might even make it a 3rd, and we needed him to get ahead. Well, he just got a boatload of gold.
Hey, this is just disaster for Team Ambition. I'm not sure why we're looking for this fight. You get the Poppy Flash, just walk away. But instead, they wanted more. They rotated Kachu, and they got heavily punished for it. That's 3 kills on the Nocturne. He's coming back to do his second set of camps with an Iron Spike Whip, and now the ball's in Rosethorn's court. He has everything he needs to snowball Taco to a win. He just needs to make use of this gold, keep active on the map, and rush towards level 6.
That is so incredibly strong for a composition that needed Rosethorn to get ahead on this Nocturne. Love to see a little bit of that response, that togetherness coming through, and really the committal to the play. I love that we had 2 fights that mesh into one, and it's actually TA that go for it here in the first place.
Yeah, and you can see it. Rosethorn, actually, TA, or rather Taco, winning on both sides of those skirmishes that we saw going through here. But it's Snow too, because they had their mid laner come through. They thought they had the angle, but I mean, Rosethorn is very strong right now. He took lethal tempo for that extra skirmishing in the early laning phase. So you could just see him. He gets the attack speed, he gets the attack range, and it's just so easy for them to finish things off.
I love it there. Red doesn't even try to get the kill there. He literally walks away because he knows how important Rosethorn is in a situation like this, just to get him that extra gold. I will give a special shout out to Kachu. Big man, we've been focusing for TA. He had a pretty impeccable flash in there to get away from the grand entrance of NXI right in the corner of the bush. But in all things, it is 1,000 gold lead for Taco, and they are on the front foot now. Rosethorn looking at bot side, but also looking at this first dragon.
I mean, this has to be yours. There's no way Team Ambition can do anything about it, and that's just perfectly continuing what Taco needs to do. I mean, get yourselves stacking towards that Dragon Soul as soon as possible, and as long as they can get dragons as they spawn, we're on time, or rather we're on track for a pretty early Dragon Soul. And I want to bring back to the flash for Kachu that you talked about. Yeah, it was a good look. It seemed like the fight could have gone their way, but now he's flashless for the next couple minutes, and he has incredible gank set up. And look at that on the top right of your screen. You see that? You see the number 6 on Rosethorn's screen? That's it. He is ahead of schedule, has access to that paranoia, and has even more ability to impact the map and make plays.
And he just got the Earthbound Axe too, so nice little double mini component spike. Rosethorn on top of that one. We'll see where he's going to look to go punish now as well, because you do expect a lot of activity come through. Spawn just hit level 6 as well. Rosethorn will be spotted out by this ward though, and TA should be able to play around that.
He's going to spot it and clear it up. But for the moment, things have slowed down a little bit. And to TA's credit, they have been able to narrow that gold deficit a little bit in terms of CS. I mean, look at Levitate. He's got a nice little lead going on Porsche. I mean, as expected in the matchup, and all things considered with this sub situation, is also able to find himself an advantage. But I like what Rosethorn's doing. He's throwing his power around a little bit. He's getting aggressive. They're going to go for the smite fight, and Rosethorn wins it out, dude.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just saying, if I'm Rosethorn in this early game, I'm feeling myself. I'm like, I win these smite fights.
Yo,
I'm 3-0 right now. Don't look at me.
They also banned 4 of his champions.
Yeah, they did.
No big deal. You know, kind of focusing on Rosethorn, knowing that he can be the unlocker. And I'll just say right now, we have a lot of doubters on our broadcast team of Rosethorn, but I have always been a fan. I think this man actually has one of the biggest brains in all of LCS Challengers in the way that he thinks about the jungle. He doesn't always have the same follow-up with the rest of the team, but it is there. We'll see, though, now TA trying to follow up with that early advantage, trying to respond to that. Will get red in the end, so they answer back with their own shot.
You know what? No flash. I gotta imagine Red is just like, I'm dead. I'm gonna save my ultimate. So it was a really nice punish coming through from TA and a way for them to get more gold into their pocket there. And this is what I wanted to see from Limo playing this Poppy. You still have the power, even if you're down a couple of kills, to have this early game impact like we saw. And now, next thing to look at, especially when you're an early game team looking to snowball to a win, is that Rift Herald. You were playing into a Gangplank topside who just wants to farm. You have a 3-0 Nocturne. This should be yours unless Limo goes for a steal. Remember, keep his verdict.
He's got to spell shield it right there if he can. He doesn't actually. He goes over towards spawn. Now Rosethorn pops the lights here as the cannon barrage comes down. They will not get Rosethorn, but he walks straight into Levitate. The shutdown goes straight to the carry himself. Now we actually see if they get a little bit of action here. Double engage there. Onat with a huge CC with the Tibbers follow-up. They get one back as well. So there's trades across the board, about 400 gold still in the favor of Taco, but the biggest thing is Stride Breaker completed for Rosethorn.
Yeah, I'm going to be real with you, Lennon. If not for that kill that Onat managed to pick up thanks to NXI and this played, I would just say literally all losses for Team Fish Taco's side. And you're still in an issue here because it was a really nice move to use that Keeper's Verdict on spawn. You made it think Rosethorn was the target, but instead you isolate him and take him out and get him to use the ultimate sub-optimally. And because you see on the minimap that NXI is 2 behind on this play, you're at a severe numbers disadvantage. And it's only the cherry on top is that Levitate. The Kaisa, who already had a bit of a lead, got a big shutdown there from Rosethorn. Yeah. So now we're already seeing that first item come through, and now he is super accelerated with a comp that scales really well. That's really bad.
Oh no, Spawn gonna have to burn that flash. Does have the TP coming back up, so he can get back to lane if he needs to. Biggest thing for that last fight for me, though, was NXI pouncing on the mispositioning of TA. I think those kinds of decisive moments are going to need to be the bread and butter for Taco.
Yes.
We will see Porsche and Nemo hovering up here, increase back from that Rift Herald take of TA, though. And now that's what I'm looking at next. Where will Limo go with this gold sitting in his pocket?
You got to imagine, with Paranoia coming back up, Rosethorn has keeping his eye on the minimap, finding out exactly where Shelly is going to be
some
dropped.
chicky nuggies.
That's good. He definitely needs those. He's keeping up the experience lead and farm lead he has, but this is still a bit of tough scenes. If Limo gets serious value for that Herald, especially if you get it on someone like Levitate or Porsche, that is going to be disaster for Team Fish Taco. For the moment, though, we got to look at the Dragon. Remember, Dragon stacking is something we highlighted, and with 30 seconds, you can see them trying to maintain that vision on the bottom side so that they are guaranteed to keep stacking.
Dragons will be important. I think Rosethorn just going to quick clear this topside path back down there. You will have a little bit more of a preemptive focus from Limo down here. And you do have a lot of wardage there for Taco, though, so a lot of safety provided to them. You'll see Rosethorn now coming across. Won't be spotted out in the transition from mid. Taco need to be a little careful while they are positioning for this Dragon down here.
And Team Ambition, they know that this is something that Team Fish Taco really want to play for. So they are fighting for every bit of vision that they can potentially get, but ultimately not looking like they're in the most comfortable position to contest. I mean, Rosethorn is still on that one item because he's super accelerated. Kraken Slayer feels so good for Red as well. So it's going to be the call to just back off, but I really want to see TA try and go for that third Drake as long as there's an option for them to do it. You don't want to let that soul point come through.
Typically in these kinds of situations, you want to have a trade somewhere else on the map. And there was nothing available for Team Ambition to go for, so it will just be that second Dragon stacked up for Taco. And you see Limo trying to focus over on Spawn, wanting to get this in, has the Rift Herald available to punish afterwards and maybe take first brick.
I think they
Spawn
kill him.
about half health. That is it. The Orin Horn is going to be sounded.
Oh,
Won't
they
be
cancel.
called, though. And the cannon barrage not enough, but Porsche gets the parlay, baby.
Really nice dive coming through here. Unfortunately, they aren't going to be able to drop that Herald. It would have been a significant amount of plate gold into Porsche's pocket, but this GP still gets a kill. This GP's already on an item, and that's still much needed gold into your back pockets as Team Ambition. Look at this lead continue to grow between these top laners.
It is starting to get a little scary up there, as Porsche will be ridiculously strong. Red in some trouble here, does burn the Feather Storm. But won't have that one for a while. Another plate goes over to Levitating Snow. NXI finally shows back up here, try to cut off Snow, but he has the Blast Cone out. Rift Herald will get spawned just outside of base as it was running out. Limo giving some love to Porsche.
Yeah, it was going to expire, like you were saying, and at least even though it's not going to be first brick right away, Porsche will still likely be the beneficiary of it. In fact, Limo's in the area to make sure exactly that happens. And shout out to Rosethorn on the minimap. He is a little behind, but he has that paranoia. He can join right away. Onat's on the move too.
They've got to stop the bleeding up here in the top side. They've had such a strong lead with Rosethorn, but that's the thing. It is an early lead for a Nocturne. There is still the rest of the game to play out.
Yeah.
We haven't seen some big effects from the paranoia just yet. Onat did just complete Leandri's. They've gotten some mythic items across the board for Taco, very close for Spawn at least, but it's still about being proactive for this team.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are spiking, like you talked about, especially once Red gets that second item. Team Fish Taco are going to be at a really good spot to skirmish and fight. And my eyes are going to be on this Zaya, even though it is that emergency sub coming through. He's looked all right so far, and he's going to have a lot of pressure on him as we get later into the game, being that main day damage dealer.
See now Rosethorn just crossing across mid at least, and with the roam from NXI, those combos will be strong. TA still playing perfectly well, perfectly fine with the gold advantage in their pockets, but also the strategic advantage it feels like with their composition. We said they are fine with Taco starting up objectives. Their poke will start getting stronger.
Yeah.
You just got the Duskblade completed for Kachu as well, and it's a pretty big spike for that poke.
And it really does help that your top laner is massively ahead. I mean, we might have a fight on our hands, so I won't make the call for it yet.
They just saw Rosethorn. He gets hit by that barrel there as well, taking a decent chunk. Need to be a little careful as they are just hovering around this Rift Herald fight. There is a dragon in about 2 minutes, so right now the full focus is up towards this top side of mid.
Oh!
Spawn the one going for an engage here. Does get the double knockup. There's the paranoia on the backline, but a beautiful flash from Levitate gets him out. Snow not so lucky on the back end of it. Will go down to Rosethorn.
That is a lot committed, but you do get yourself that numbers advantage, so they should be able to go for this Herald, but I'm still keeping my eyes on Team Ambition. Limo is here, Porsche is here, and there is that potential. Even Levitate is walking back up. They might be looking for a little something with Kachu.
Goes straight in. Limo trying to get as much in here as possible.
Oh,
they're going to
that
get
damage.
low, though. Rosethorn goes down to Kachu, and that is two actually going over to Team Ambition now. Got Kachu with the poke, maybe layering it behind, but now that there's no junglers, this is just a free-for-all for the Rift Herald. Taco giving it up this time around. I think they realize that it is just a free-for-all. Snow is here, though, and will make the rest of Taco back away. Rift Herald going over to Team Ambition.
Wow, that's brutal. I think Team Fish Taco actually lost so much in that skirmish because not only did they lose their jungler, lose the Herald, look at the bottom side of the map. You can see Team Ambition, after they recall, are going to set their sights onto this on this next dragon. They're gonna likely be able to deny that soul point. You're even seeing Kachu teleport to ensure that they get that bottom prio. But I mean, we're gonna watch this fight again just to see what happens. NXI tries to go in for the play. He gets the W, but not how he would expect it to come through. And the thing to keep an eye on is that Kachu, this whole fight, has been basically free hitting and was able to put in so much damage.
He went into the Void Seeker with that safeguard. Oh, man, that feels real bad. But anyways, back into it. Rosethorn will get the flash out of Kachu before this dragon fight. It looks like Team Ambition don't want any part of this. First turret goes to Porsche. The rest of the team hovering over this tier 2 tower.
Wow, okay, so they decided to sack it so that they can basically all in on this top side, as you said. So Soul Point is here for Team Fish Taco, and an Ocean Soul, given the poke that you're dealing with, is the ideal soul to roll. So things still potentially could go in their favor if they're able to get that 4th break. They have still some scaling options with Spawn once he gets to that level 14 and can start upgrading mythics as well. And the hope is that those two things together will give Taco that ability to look for some of these all-in fights that hopefully allow them to win the game, because time is still not on their side.
Is definitely not. Cannon Barrage going to delay Spawn taking that outer tower down there. You see full focus from Taco down this way. And the thing is, for Taco, they need to be proactive in their composition. They need to find those entrances. But we're getting to the point where Team Ambition are feeling confident on the map. They have a 3,000 gold lead. Yeah. They can come now redeploying back onto the map with a Navori Quick Blade second item for Porsche, and they're going to be looking for the damage.
Okay, Lennon, we gotta do it. I gotta ask, what's the? Can we look at the gold and see what the difference is? Because you pointed out the gold lead, which is valid. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's all Porsche. You see that? So.
Oh, we got the double goal.
Oh,
no.
Okay, yeah, we're getting the full picture here. But all right,
I love it, actually.
Lennon, hear me out. If Taco killed Porsche early in a fight, this gold lead doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
I can agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that's kind of the goal. That's
deductive reasoning.
Yeah. So if I'm Team Fish Taco, I'm one of the players on the team, I'm saying, hey, this Porsche guy, he's pretty fed. Let's kill him. ASAP Rocky.
They have 3. Oh, and Excited takes about half his health there. That's the Navori Quick Play Spike. I thought maybe they put a little bit of focus down here on a Porsche, but he can play so safely down here. They'll get the reset from Spawn, and we'll actually see a moment of lapse here for Taco, a team that needs to be that proactive team. Team from Challengers League who did not even want to be in this tournament. They don't feel like they should be here.
Yeah.
And now they're on the back foot, even with all those substitution changes coming into this one.
Yeah, I mean, Onat, we saw that quick words from him at the start of this game there in the picture-in-picture, and that, the motivation wasn't high initially for this roster after they got sent to this promotion tournament for placing bottom 2 in Challenger Summer. And at this point, now, hearing that they are more confident does feel good, because we are going to need to see confidence if they're going to have to get a win here in this game and also get this win in the series, because it's elimination. This is your only chance left in this tournament to stay alive and potentially play to make it into Spring 2024 Challenge.
One best of 3 ahead of you, already neck deep into game number 1 and neck deep into the Spawn gank and top side. Spawn's just in a heap of trouble here as Levitate comes in to go on a killing spree. 4th kill for this Kaisa. And right as the Baron spawns, no way, they're just going to go for it, maybe.
I think they should.
That would be bold. I like the reservation here, Team Ambition. There were some pings. I was getting a little iffy, but maybe they look at mid lane instead, as Red has made his team overextend a little bit. They will have to back away. They get the TP out there from Kachu to mid lane.
I think it's just Baron time still. Porsche's teleported.
They're doing it.
Yeah, there it is. You're still 7 seconds on spawn. You do a lot of damage coming through. So surely you're just going to be able to do this. And walking into Team Ambition's composition is also super dangerous.
Little hesitant on the trigger pull there. Got about half health and decided to back off, realizing there are a lot of engage opportunities for Team Fish Taco. Now the poke comes into play, and the cannon barrage coming out. Shock blast rather, not going to hit, but another Void Seeker does, and Levitate's going to be able to fire another one here pretty soon. We'll end up getting tanked by Rose Storm, but this is where Team Ambition's composition comes alive. And honestly, this roster comes alive. I love that they go for this combination of this range, but also centering around Kachu and Levitate.
And you can just see how well they're syncing up this game and how it's resulted in this 3,000 gold lead. They can clear up vision for this Baron at the moment, but they're not comfortable actually going for it. Mana bars are low. Paranoia is still up and available, so everyone's just going to go back to their bases, spend what gold they've earned, and make it back for this Drake fight, because it is Team Fish Taco's soul, really their last best chance in this game to be able to make this win come through, because you need that healing the soul gives you to be able to withstand some of this poke. It would be such a big turning point for them should they be able to secure it.
And this is a team ambition that feels like it's been building to this moment for a long time, right? Centering their build around Kachu, really making him the main piece. They're going to have to find a way to make it happen here in the easy way of getting the poke down ahead of the fight.
Whoa.
Dragon is coming up, and that is
That's two big
Taco's
ults.
focus.
I mean, Team Fish Taco, their two biggest ults are out of the picture now. It's going to be on NXI and Onat to be able to find a big stun, a big wombo, so that Team Fish Taco can get
flash.
themselves this Dragon.
Oh, Spawn in a little bit of trouble here. Does get the Keeper's Verdict out of there, as now TA will move in as they do with this composition. Dragon is started up by Taco, try to force the hand of TA. Meanwhile, Spawn rejoining the team over here. It is a reset fight potential, but again, those ultis are not there for Taco. They're just going to try to burn it down. The Cannon Barrage is in the middle of everything here. Snow goes in for the engage. This is looking all team ambition. The Cannon Barrage is doing so much work, and then the barrels come and explode in your face. The Dragon goes over to team ambition, and they will roll away with that one and roll straight into the Baron.
It's starting to seem like that's all she wrote for game one. Lennon, Team Fish Taco, two biggest ultimates out of the picture with barely any health lost on Team Ambition's side. They will deny the soul. They will get themselves the Baron and pick themselves up even more gold, knock down more structures, and put Team Fish Taco even further in the dirt.
Red and NXI are actually looking for a play on bottom side as well. Turret went down in the mid lane to Levitate. Did they get him down here?
Kachu?
They got the Blade Collar combo, but Kachu gets the blade back anyways. He's looking for another one too. He's trying to follow up NXI. I don't care about the Baron. Take the turret Baron, but don't mean nothing here as it is the 2v1 double kill for Kachu.
How about the mid laner of Team Ambition? We've been hyped about him since he joined the roster, and now we're really starting to see those mechanics shine. And we're going to take a look at the replay once more, as this was the ultimate that NXI had. Wow. Okay, that was really nicely done, actually. He just knocks away NXI before he can even touch him with the ultimate, with the grand entrance. And that boy is over.
My goodness. Even gets hit by the Blade Collar, but does not matter. This man has been on fire, and it is rightfully so the guy that this team has been built around.
That's right, and as a result, Team Ambition got themselves more kills. They got themselves the Turo Baron buff. I mean, looking at the Subway damage dealt last team fight.
That's a Subway footlong if I ever see one beat down. Yes. My God, that Subway damage dealt last team fight is insane because it wasn't even a team fight. It was a 2v1.
I mean, Kachu just slapped him with that footlong, man. Unreal. The outplay we saw just now, and you can see it, bounties across the board on key members of Team Ambition. They still have the Baron buff in their hands, and they're just going to slowly whittle away at these turrets. And soon, the only thing left for Team Fish Taco to be in is their face. Okay, I guess AB Kais is fine, guys. The nerfs didn't matter, apparently.
I mean, it's the Shock Blast, dude. That is why this composition has been so rampant in competitive play. Once you get ahead, there is no stopping the poke, and you have to always be careful. They can pin you down in your base, and that's exactly what Team Ambition are doing right now with this Baron buff.
And you can see it, like they've shoved in every lane so nicely. No one's actually Baroning up the top lane minions, but that's fine. It's still Team Fish Taco bleeding gold.
This is the engage, though. Rosethorn going for it all the way extended, though. Will end up backing off. Levitate wants to go for it, but he walks straight into the Blade Collar. Does end up going gold, and Snow goes in with the engage, and it's Taco just throwing themselves here, but their shell is being ripped off, and the fish is being eaten alive. It is Team Ambition that are dismantling our LCS Challengers League team in Team Fish Taco here at game number 1. Over a 10,000 gold lead.
And it's only going to get bigger as they knock down this mid inhibitor as well. They could just look to close the game out. I'm pretty sure we're done here. And in an elimination game, Team Ambition get themselves up to match point.
Match point for a team that feels like it's been a long time coming. That put Team Fish Taco in their place and put them on the back foot. Team Ambition off the back of the Kachu Levitate Porsche trio combo will carry out game 1.
And it's for Team Fish Taco, it is back to the drawing board because now they are one game away from having their year finished and no chance at playing in Challengers League Spring in 2024. So a lot of work has to be done between games 1 and 2. We'll have to see if they're going to be able to make it happen.
We will indeed. Now we will step away for a short little break. When we come back, though, we'll have our halftime show with Grape, so don't miss it.
Subway refreshed their ingredients, their menu, and now they're slicing their meats fresh. That's why their new Subway Series subs are preferred by this champ.
And his future champ.
Pros who are talking heads prefer fresh sliced turkey.
And pros who use their heads prefer fresh sliced ham.
More deli meats are preferred by this QB.
And preferred by his old backup QB.
And if we prefer it, we know you'll prefer it too. Is this slice as good as your tennis slice?
I can't answer that, but yes.